This is Gemara Sanhedrin, Daf Kuf Zayin, and once again we like to dedicate all the learning as an incredible zchus rafua shlima for Tinoik Miriam Ahuva b'soich sha'ar Chayle Yisrael. We're holding on Kavavim Abeis as once again we're going to be trying our best to get these shiurim up a little bit earlier as we can prepare for Pesach appropriately. We're smack in the middle of the white lines on Kavavim Abeis, continuing discussing Dayeg and Achi Teifel, Amar Rav Misharshia. Teaches Rav Misharshia, Dayeg v'Achi Teifel, Loisavri Shemaitza. Dayeg and Achi Teifel did not really understand the Loisavri. They didn't fully understand the halachas that they learned. Asks Rav Zuksha, are we dealing with one that it says, as a migdalim? Where's the one who can count, who could weigh, count the towers? The psukim seem to indicate a high level of chachma, of havana, to Daig and Achi Teifel. And you're telling me that they didn't understand, says the Gemara, Ella, you know what it means? They did indeed understand. However, they didn't end in their learning. They didn't arise at the end of the ultimate pinnacle of a Shmaitz Aliba De'echsa Dechsev Seid Hashem Lireyav. Continues the Gemara, Amar Avami Loi Mistayig Shachach Talmudai. Unfortunately, Daig was not nifter till he forgot his Torah Shenemar. Who Mavet Yamos Bein Musar B'Rav Yivalta Yishke. He'll die without any chachma. He'll go into shigigan, to error by his big mistakes. Rav Ashi Amar Nitzara. Daig had saras before he was nifter. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Hitzmasa Kol Zaina Mimeka. You'll cut down all those who stray from you. Ksiv asam letzmisos u'metargaminan. And what is the targaminan? Lachalutin. Utnana, what's lachalutin? Ein bein muskar u'mochlat elaprio prima belvad. We see that refers to tzaras. Says the Gemara, Simin, again, Nacha Simin, and Amir Tashem. Hopefully, when we get to Makos, we'll probably be going back to the wonderful Zichru Simanim, 23 daf. Everyone should hopefully try. They're going to be giving out packets of it. Let's try to get involved, knowing and retaining our Torah. So, Amar Rav Yechlet, Shleisha Malachi Chavala is Namla L'Daik. 3 Malachi Chavala, 3 Malachim who afflict, came and attacked Daik. Echad, one of them, Sheshach Talmudai, caused him to forget his Torah. Echad Shesaraf Nishmasai, Echad Shapizer Afarai, Babatik Nisiyais. Ubebati Midrashais, he spread his ashes into Bati Knesiyas, Bati Midrashais. V'amar Rav Yechlan, Daig v'Achtevel Razazem, Daig and Achi Teifel were not alive at the same time. Daig Meishav Achtevel Meitaved. V'amar Rav Yechlan, Daig v'Achi Teifel Lachatzi Yemeyem. They did not live out even half their days. Tanami Hachi. Araya, 4 lines at the bottom. Anchi Dam Mir Melechsi Yemeyem. Kol Shnaisem Shal Daig. Was 34 years. Rabbi, he went from Rebbe to Chaver to Talmud. Before we turn over the page, let's just realize that the pasuk in the bottom of here, Beis Elikim Malach Baragesh, is the pasuk that Allah has brought down. One should say every time he walks into a shul in the morning. And with that, we turn over to Kav Zayin, and we just conclude the pasuk we just said. With my bread, raised his heels to trample upon me. Continuing the Gemara. Now that we brought up Dayeg, we brought up Achi Teifel, says the Gemara, let's go into another discussion of David HaMelech, which was David and Bathsheba. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, famously teaches the Gemara, and I hope we're realizing that so many of our most famous Maimrei Chazal come from these Gemaras. One should never bring himself to Nisayon to attest. Why? David Melech Yisrael Leviatzli Nisai V'Nichshal, and he stumbled. Rachmana litzlan. Amr lefanim Rebbeinu Shalaylam. Mibnei Ma'amr Lekei Avram Lekei Yitzchak Lekei Yaakov. Ask David Hashem, why? We say Elokei of all the Avos, and yet V'Inam Lekei David. Amar responds Hashem, Minasuli Vatzlo Minastoli. They were tested by me, and you were not. Amr lefanim says David Ben Shal B'Chanani V'Nasani test me. Shnemer B'Chanani Hashem V'Nasani. V'Goyim Amar Minens Chalach. V'Avina Milsa B'Adach. He says, Hashem, I'm going to do something for you. I didn't do it to the Avos. They didn't know I was testing them. But you, David, I'm going to tell you, I'm giving you the warning. So David HaMelech asks for an Isayan, and he's told, you're going to get an Isayan, and I'm telling you the topic. It was at night, David got up from his bed. What does this mean? He changed his night bed to his day bed. That usually you only have relations at night. David went and he had relations with his wife by day in order to calm his yetzer. He didn't want to fall to arayis. Unfortunately, he forgot the rule. Aver katan yesh ba'adam. Man has a small aver masbi'ai. You satisfy it, ra'iv. It just gets hungry. Omar Eva, if you starve it, then saveya. So David HaMelech thought, okay, I'll go be with my wife, and by then I'll be able to withstand future temptations. And he had it all wrong. The opposite. You want to withstand temptations, Mar Eva. You got to starve the yetzer. What happens next? He goes on the roof. He sees a woman bathing. She was very beautiful. Shampooing her head under a large cone that you couldn't really see him. Satan came and appeared to David like a bird. David shot an arrow at the bird. And it struck and ripped open the cone. And at that moment, Bathsheba was exposed, and David HaMelech is able to see her bathing. And David HaMelech sees her miyad right away. Says the boss of Yishach, David v'yidrash li'isha. David sent messengers, and he takes her. This is Bathsheba, the daughter of Elam. The wife of Uriachid. David sends messengers, and David takes her. He comes to her and lays with her, and she had been purified of her tamah. David HaMelech sends her home. This is the meaning of the pasuk in the first very wide line. To examine my heart by night, I searched. You were refined, but I was not pure. Says the Gemara, what does the pasuk mean? That scheming is not crossed my lips. Amar David HaMelech says, demand desani li. Would a muzzle be upon the mouth of my enemy? Had he not such a thing? David HaMelech realizes that by asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for a test brought upon his downfall. Continues the Gemara. Let's go a little bit deeper into the ma'is of David and Bathsheba. Darash Rav on the second white line. David Hashem Chasiti. What is the meaning of the pasuk? Chasiti ichtamer l'nafshi nudi aracham sipar. Darshins Rava. Omer David HaKadosh Baruch Hu ber Shlomo Chali Alei Say Oven. Hashem, forgive me for that Aveir Shlomo Har. So they should not say Har Shebachem Sipar Nadata. Your mountain, your king, was caused to astray by a mere bird, the bird that ripped open and exposed by Sheva, and David succumbs to sin. David davening to Hashem to forgive himself. Darish Rava Maidich Sev Lech Levatcha Chotasi Varabinecha Sisi Leman Titzak B'Davrecha Tizka B'Shavtecha. What does the pasuk mean? Number of Nekadosh Baruch Hu. Gal Yavi Adia Kamach revealed in front of you Hashem. Tibayi Lemech Beil Yichayavi Kaifina. Hashem, it's revealed to you and known that if I wanted to subdue my Yitzhar, I could have done it. Elamina, I said, to Lemra Avda, that the servant be bested by the master. David realizing again, asking Zachal Amare, asking for the task, causes downfall. Dara Ashrava, the sixth white line, Maidich Sev Kanila Tzelan Achain Machaivi, Negdi Tamid. Says the Gemara, really, Ba'asheva was Rayu to David HaMelech from the beginning of creation. Ella, Shabai love b'machai, but unfortunately David HaMelech comes to her with pain, with a scandal. Unfortunately, he came to it before the right time, meaning David was destined to be with Ba'asheva, but unfortunately, he took matters into his own hands too early. Darash Rava Maidich Seif continues the Gemara of Tali Simchasi and Esfa. Nesfa, Lai Nechem, V'lo Yadata. Karuv Lai Damu, what is the meaning of this? Pasuk, Amar Lav Nechad, Shbach Ruban Shalaylam. Kalavi Adula V'nech Shemei HaKairim B'Isari. If I were to tear my flesh, Laisa Dami Shaiseis. My blood will not flow out. For my Aveirais, I'm drained from all my blood. Not only that, we'll see exactly what this means. That David HaMelech was taunted by his enemies. And David HaMelech was so humiliated, he says, I had no skin in my face. That what? When they were dealing Barba Mises Bezin, Paiskim Mishnas, and Vaimerli David, the taunt was that they're learning a base medrash, and they're learning about David Mises Bezdin. And they turn to David HaMelech Yisrael, and they say, David, Sonu's Balishas Ish. What did Misa the Zigad Amarti Lam Abaliches Misas Bechanek? But of course they're embarrassing David because he was Balishas Ish. But says David Avalamalbim and Echaviroi Birabim. Rachmana Litzlan in the Chelik Lam Haba. Amar Rav Yud Amar Rav continues the Gemara. Afilu Bishas Chayot Shal David Kayim Shona Asher Yoinais. Even when David was sick, he fulfilled 18 idas. He slept together with his wife. His 18 wives, even after the story of Bathsheba, he still did not neglect his duty to his wife. Shenemar Yagati Ben Chasi Ascha B'Cholaydli Mitasi B'Tavasi Arsi Emsa. Of course, a pasuk that is part of Kriya Shema Alamita. Says the Gemara. Let's go into another story with David HaMelech. David was going to serve up with his Zara. Shenemar vi David ba ad haroish sheishtach v'sham le'lohim. Ve'in roish alav with his Zara. What does roish mean of his Zara? Shenemar v'utzalma reish edei dav dav. V'ina lekra tav v'ina lekra zeichu she'arki karua b'chanti v'adamal roishai. What does this mean? Amalei David. It says David HaMelech Yavru Melech Shekamaisi Yavid of the Zara. Chushi says to David HaMelech, if you're going to do this Aveir, people are going to say, what? A king is David of the Zara, Melech Shekamaisi, Yarguni Benoi. So David responds, a king like me, Melech Shekamaisi, Yarguni Benoi, as they should be killed by his own son. It's going to be a Chil Hashem, Mutav Yavid of the Zara, by Yisrael Shim Shemayim B'Frahesya. So David HaMelech rationalizes that it's better for this to prevent a Chil Hashem. Omar says, Chushai to David, my time can he see Vas Toyar? Why did he marry Vas Toyar? Amli Vas Toyar, Rachman Shari, it's Motor Amalei. Says Chushai to David, like Drashta, Smuchen, you didn't darshin. Smuchen, the Samach like Yel Ish Ben Zayr Meyer. You're right, it's Motor. But it causes a weaver son, Klanaisi Vas Toyar, Yish Laban, Zayr Meyer, and of course that's the son of Shalom, who's going to kill David HaMelech. So continues the Gemara, Darish Rav the spy, to Menabir Lama David Baal L'Soichar. What's the reason of David HaMelech? L'Soichar Kusi to Soichar, Lama David Daima, excuse me. What is David Kaber? We call L'Soichar Kuti to a Kuti merchant. Amar David L'Nei HaKadosh Baruch HaBaruch Shailam. Shegi Yizmi Yavin, who could discern mistakes. Amar Lei, Hashem says to David, Shaviki L'cha, your Aveirais are forgive, your Nuministar is not Kenyan, from your sins I'll cleanse. Shaviki lecha, what does that mean? Gamazinu chazagav decha. Shaviki lecha yimshalu bi. Az isam lo lishtu bi rabbanan. That the rabbanan should not talk about me. Shaviki lecha. Shem responds, you're forgiven. Az isam in the case of Besharav. David continues davening. Shalei kasev sarchaini. Should not be written down. Amar lai. Hashem says to David, Yefsha, it can't be. Umayot shenatalti misarai. The Yod says Hashem that I've taken away from the name of Sarai. Oymid v'tzavach kama shanim. Whatever that means, the Yod is screaming. Ashava Yeshua. V'yisavta lo, Yeshua comes and adds the Yod to his name. Shenamar. Vayikra Moshe l'Hoshea. Benon Yehoshua. Klamar Shekula Alachas Kama V'Kama. Says Hashem to David HaMelech, an entire parsha. Alachas Kama V'Kama. How much more so? It cannot just be erased from the Torah. Continues the Gemara, in case Basharav, Amar Lefanu Brother Shlomo Chalil Leisi Avon. Another Joshua says, David Hashem, forgive me. Kulay Amar Kvar Asev. Asid Shlema bin Chalemir v'Chachmasai. No. Shlema is already going to say, B'Chachma Yechatem. Ish B'Cheiko B'Gadav. Lo Isis Rafatna. A person pulls in all the embers without burning his clothing. Can you walk in the coals and your feet won't be scorched? When of course, cannot be cleansed. When it touches the armor, says David, is this man by himself? Says David, am I so rejected? Says Hashem, will you accept Yisurin? Kabbalah love. David accepts Yisurim as a form of tshuva. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Yehuda Marav, so teaches Rav Yehuda Marav, what were these Yisurim, the David HaMelech, what were they? Shish Chadash and Yitzhar David, even Yitzhar Gimenu Shechina for 6 months, and Shechina left him. Parsha Menu Sanhedrin left him, and it's tired, and he was in pain. How do we know the Shechina left? How do you know 6 months? David HaMelech reigned for 40 years, but Chevron, for 40 years. David HaMelech in Chevron was how long? Melech? Shish, Sheva Shanim, Yishlai Melech, Shleishim V'Shalish Shanim, 33 years. Except V'cher Melech Al Yehuda, Sheva Shanim, V'Shisha Chadashim. Now it says that in Chevron he was 7 years and 6 months. But the first pasuk doesn't mention these 6 months. Why not? Shvaminan, it's Taira. Amar lefanav Rebbeinu Shalaylam David. Hakadosh Baruch Hu machli le'v'sevav, and please forgive me. Machalecha, Hashem says you're forgiven. Asay mi oisa tavi yerusayna v'yivoshki at Hashem zeratenim nechamtani. Show me a sign. Amar le'v'chayecha eini moidia. In your lifetime, says Hashem, I won't show you. Aval ani moidia v'chay yishlayma ibincha, in your son's life, you'll have this sign that you were forgiven. B'shah shebana shlayma es b'zamigdash. When Shlima built the base, Shlomo Melech wanted to build the base of Hamikdash. He was trying to get the Aron into the Kodesh HaKodashim. Davku Sharim Zeb, the Sharim would not open up. So what does Shlomo Melech do? Teaches the Gemara. And again, we had this in Gemara on Shabbos. Amar Esim Bar Rinan is 24 Rinan is Lo Nana, they didn't answer. Amar Sushar Mershechem, he knows about Zchiyalam, you have a Melech HaKavah, he's a Melech HaKavah, which is the Gibar. Hashem Gibar Melchama. So Shlomo Melech is davening to open up the gates. Whenever Sushar Mershechem was Super Zchiyalam, you have a Melech HaKavah, and still the gates will not open up. Shlomo Melech cannot get the Aron in. Kivan Shamar, in the last narrow line, so says Shlomo Melech. Finally, says Shlomo, Kivan Shiana. Kivan Shamar Hashem Elokim al Toshi b'nei Mishachah Zachar Chasti David Avdecha. So Shlomo davens in the honor of David, your servant, Miyad. First very wide line. Then he was answered by Sashan Evchu Ponei Saini David Kishuli Kedera. The enemies of David turned into like the bottom of a pot. V'yadu kol Yisrael Shamach like Hashbachal Usav, and David HaMelech was forgiven for his Avera. Continues the Gemara, going back to the Mishnah again. We had Araba at Yaitais. The fourth was Geichazi. Techsev Ayelech Elisha. Domestic Leichazer. Where did Elisha go? Geichazi b'tshuva v'loy chazer. Geichazi does not do tshuva. Amar lechazer v'chamer loy kach mekolani mimeka. Ha'chayte yomachti zerabim ein masbikim b'yadei l'aseish tshuva. Says Geichazi, it's not shayach. I learned from you that a chayti umachti zarabim is not possible to do tshuva. My avad, says the Gemara, what was this chayti umachti? What did Gechazi do? Ikad the amri evin sheyavas tolu lechatos yiravam. Some say that what happened, he hung a magnet for the chatos yiravam, the sin of Yiravam, near those golden calves that we learned a few daf ago. The Yiravam set up, and he had these magnets that caused the golden calf to appear that it was suspended, looking as if it had supernatural powers, causing people to worship the idol. That what do you do? You put the name of Hashem in the mouth of the calf, and this golden calf was talking and it was saying, and the third shot say that the Rabbanan, the Geichazi drove the Rabbanan away from Elisha. Shenamar Yobnei Anavim Al Elisha Inina Makam Asher Nachton Yoshim Sham Lefanecha Sar Mimenu Mechlav Ad Hashtalarbe. Sar, till now they weren't that way. Says the Gemara, okay, as we keep on seeing, they got it to us one topic into the next. So now let's go into Elisha. Elisha and Gechazi. Tanu Rabbanan. We're 8 lines into the very wide lines. First line is Tanu Rabbanan. Loilam te small doichad yamin makrev is such an important yisoid in life. When you have to push someone away, how do you push them away? You push them away be small with your weaker hand. But you're in when you want to pull someone in with the love. That comes in with the right hand. It's like Elisha, not like Elisha. You push me with 2 hands. Where do we see this? Vayomer Naaman. Hayol v'kach kikarim v'yifratz bar v'yotzar kikarim kasef. Elisha min gachazi. Elisha says, where are you coming? Gechazi. He said, your servant has not gone anywhere. Elisha says, to my spirit not accompany you. When Naaman turned away, so the bakar v'avadim u'shvachis. Says the Gemara, let's go a little bit deeper into these psukim. Umi shakal kulei hai. Ask the Gemara, did this actually happen? Hai kesef ubegadim udishakal. Says the Gemara, what's going on? He only took kesef ubegadim. Why did Gechazi list? Why did Elisha list 8 different items? Amar Yitzchak b'Isa Shah. Haya Elisha yoshev v'darish b'shmenish ratzim. Elisha's darshaning Naaman tzar tzva melech Aram. Haya mitzaira. Naaman is a mitzaira. And what happens? Amra la, girl says, Israel, who's taken as a captive, said to him, Elisha, if you go to Elisha, he'll heal you. So he listened. He came to Elisha. Amar le. Elisha says, Zil tavol b'yardin, go into the Yardin 7 times. Amar le. Naaman says, are you making a joke out of me? What's going on over here? Amru le. So Elisha responds, no, hanu davi ba'adei. Excuse me. Other people that were with Naaman said, Amrulei, ma'inav kol minach. What is the difference? Zel nasi. Go test. Elisha's telling you what to do. Go see if it's going to work. Also, he goes and he goes into the yard and guess what? He's healed. So he goes back to Elisha and he brings him Kolani did not get all the gifts that he had in his possession. So Elisha didn't want to accept it. Gechazi iftar mikamid Elisha. Gechazi leaves Elisha azal shakal ma'id shakal, and Gechazi takes from Naaman. And he, azal he goes to Naaman. Shakal ma'id shakal takes from Naaman ve'ifkid, and he hides it away so Elisha wouldn't know about it. Ki also when Gechazi comes, Chazi la Elisha saras aviparchal u'leishi. Elisha saw saras and Gechazi his head. Amar lei Rosh. Yes, lital schar shemayna shratzim. Has the time come for you to get the reward for learning Shemana Shratzav? He said, Naaman Tiddik B'chav Zarech Lo'ilam. Naaman Saras should be upon you forever. V'itz Mofanav Mitzayra Kesheleg. The Gemara concludes, Arboim Anoshim Mitzarayim Pasach Hashar Amar Nechon Gechazi Ushleisha Banim Gechazi and the 3 children Gechazi having the Saras Lo'ilam void. We continue and we're actually going to conclude for today. Going into how do we deal with avaryanim? Says the Gemara, we said Yamin Mikarev small daicha Bishoben Parachia Mayu. Says the Gemara, no, I skipped. Tanya Amar Aran Nashim Chashar Amar Yechon Gechazi Shleisha Banim. Tanya, we learned in our Braisa Amar Shimon Elazar Yitzer Tinoik Visha. Okay, once again, I'm reading from one Gemara and I have another Gemara open up in front of me. This is another one of the Gemaras that were censored over here. So as we're just going to read the words, we're going to leave out the deeper pshatim Says the Gemara, Tanim Yeshua ben Baruch Mahi Kedekalklinu Yanei Malkil Rabbanon. Also Yeshua ben Baruch v'Yeshu l'Chzandria shel Mitzrayim. Kavishlama shalach le Yeshua ben Shadach Mine Yerushalayim Yerakodesh le Chzandria shel Mitzrayim Achoyti Bali Shuri b'Toichech v'Anoichi Yoshev Shemim Kol Masav Yisrael Le'ahu Shpiza Avdei Yakratuva Amar Kama Yavach Zan Yazu Amar Le'Raveina Terutois Amar Le'Rasha. Kachat Isaac, Apik Arba, Mea Shipura Vishante, Aslikamei Kamazimnin, Amalei Kamala Loevika, Mashkach Veyema, Khale Vikakari, Karisa Shema, Aslikamei, Savarli Kabule, Achlebiade, who's ever Mitachas Dachile, Asal Zakav Levinse, Vishtachbullah, Amalei Hadrabacha, Amalei Kakavikanim Bukla, Haiti, Umachti, Sarabim, Ein Maspik, in Lasus, Chuba Mamar, Yeshu, Hanoitri, Kishif, Isiti, Vediachas Yisrael. The difficult Gemaras of Yeshu, we're not going to get involved in them. Again, these are Gemaras that some censored, some don't. We're going to leave it at just the Bashab Shat. Anyone could learn it on their own. But now, Tanya Amr Shimon Elazar, Yetzer Tinaik Ve'isha. Says Shimon Elazar, when one is dealing with a Yetzer, with a Tinaik or an Isha, all of these three taste small doichi, you push away with the left, the Yamin Mekareves, with the right you brush closer. Tanu Rabbanan Gimel Chalem Chala Elisha Echad Shagira Dubim B'Tinaikis. 3 illnesses of Elisha. One was of the case of the beers. He incited them against the children. V'echad Shdavchel Ligechzim B'Shtei Yadayim. He pushed away Gechazi. V'echad Shemeis By the third illness that he died from Shenamar. V'Elisha Chala Es Chaya V'Gan. Says the Gemara Avram Loya Zigna. Till Avram Avinu was no such thing as old age. Called the Chazi Avram Amar Hayitzchak. Called the Chazi Yitzchak Amar Hayavram. They thought they were the same, as there was no such thing as getting older. Avram Rachman Lavali Zigna Avram Avinu Davins. They could have old age. Never Avram Zikabab Yamin Ad Yaakov Lavi Cholshav, no such thing as sickness. But Rachman Vikal Cholshish. Never Yom the Yosef and Yavich Cholad Elisha Lavi Inshi Cholish. No one got sick. The Mitafik they ever got better. Fasa Elisha by Rachman Mitafik Elisha got better. Shem Elisha Cholas Cholya Ve'Esher Yamos by the first time there was an illness the one got better from. We'll pick it up from the Mishnah B'Siyata Dishmaya.